Hi, welcome to You, Me and Mediumship. It's still January as we look out the windows and see the darkness and the wind and the rain in the UK. Not been a good couple of days, bit stormy, but there we go, it's winter time. I'm looking forward to the summer or the spring. I guess you may even class this as spring. It doesn't feel like it at the moment, but yeah, it'll soon be warm weather time hopefully in the UK. And some of the students that I work with, it's already warm weather. We're talking of like 40 degrees, which, well, I don't think I'm a 40-degree man, to be quite honest. I don't think I could quite cope with that for too long. Anyway, um, yeah, tonight, first of all, thank you to all the subscribers and those of you that leave some wonderful comments. It's very, very much appreciated. And like I've said before a few times, I will respond to them all. It takes time obviously to get through them, but I will respond to them all. So please be patient with me. I'll do my best to answer them as quickly as I can. I just want to talk tonight briefly about the fear of passing, which has been mentioned a couple of times now. And obviously if there's a fear of passing, then for me personally, in a way, it's kind of links to a lack of understanding not only of the process but of what lies beyond. So as a medium we have an understanding to a certain degree. Obviously we are restricted in what we understand. There are things that we will not and cannot comprehend whilst in the body. It's beyond us, same as certain colours are beyond our vision, certain sounds are beyond our hearing. We are very restricted and limited to what we can actually sense whilst in the body. A lot of people seem to think this is the be all and end all. In other words, we sense everything, we see everything, which is obviously not the case. We have this fear of passing simply because for many it is a fear of the unknown, and one of the last things a mind likes, or dislikes I should say, is the unknown. It needs to have an explanation for everything, and what it doesn't know it will make up anyway. It will certainly do its best to give you an answer in most circumstances, however true this may be, however correct it may be. But that's how the human mind is formed, and obviously fear stems from the unknown. And like I said, we can only comprehend certain things whilst in the body. So maybe we will only learn so much anyway, so that fear will probably exist for an awful long time, unless we evolve into such wonderful spiritual beings that one day we will understand it all, and I don't think that's around the corner for many of us. So yeah, it's the fear of the unknown, isn't it? The thing that I think we need to try and understand is the fact that the energy of the soul itself has knowledge beyond what we can comprehend. It has a knowing. There's certain aspects of that knowing as light workers that we can digest and we do understand, but there are obviously certain aspects of it that we truly cannot understand. We can simply ask the question, we can be told to a certain degree the answer, and as you can probably tell, for spirit, for our guides, our helpers, they can only relate to us, or relay to us rather, information that we can understand. It would be a pointless exercise for them to go into things that we just will not get a grasp of. So we have to be lucky in the respect that we have that link with energy, we have that link with soul, and we can ask questions and we can get answers, but only to a certain degree. So the fear of passing, I guess, like I said, will always be there, because that will always be an element of the unknown to many of us. But what we need, if we can get that grasp of that process of how we pass and what we can expect on the other side, then it will take some of that fear away. So it's just a matter of trying to understand the actual process. And like I said, the soul itself is well aware, if you like, of our time frame. The body itself is a machine. It's mechanical to a certain degree, and obviously, like most things mechanical, especially my car, they break down. So with age normally. So yeah. So as the body starts to break down, obviously the soul within self is well aware of this process. It's well aware of your time frame. It's well aware to a certain degree of when your time is up, if you like, or when you are about to pass. There is influence from within to the mind. That's why on many occasions you will find a calmness within a person when they are aware that passing is just around the corner. It's not that far away. For some, we have tragedy, obviously things like accidents and very similar things like, maybe, sorry to go down that route, but maybe things like murder. We could be walking down the street and get run over by a bus very swiftly. So there is that element there of surprise when the body is, its functioning has ceased very quickly because of an accident or whatever, and the soul itself obviously can then be quite shocked by what has happened. And many people describe, obviously, who have had near-death experiences, of watching the process of, like, paramedics trying to revive them, doing all sorts of things to try and obviously save their lives, and they do a fantastic job. And they can sometimes survive, or we can sometimes survive these accidents and recall that time when we stood there, or we felt like we stood there and watched these wonderful people revive us and bring us back to life. And for many, they are told whilst watching that this isn't your time to pass. So, which raises the question that maybe sometimes if there is an accident, a sudden death, then this may well be part of your journey. It may well be something that was foreseen, it was there, planned. This was how you was to pass. So if this is the case, then not such a shock for the soul itself. It would have prepared, it would have known, it would be ready. With illness, obviously it's a different thing. It's a longer, drawn out process for many. Sometimes you can be suffering for a while before you actually pass. And sometimes it can be very quick, obviously with a sudden heart attack or something like that. But your journey itself, has an element of planning within it. Obviously, the lessons that you are here to learn, it would be a pointless exercise to continually be coming back to learn the same lesson over and over again. So it would be absolutely pointless. So there has to be an element of choice of what the soul itself needs to learn, what it needs to learn in order to be able to progress, to fulfill its journey. So there's no reason at all to think that there would be no planning in when that journey ends. And I think personally that maybe, just maybe, the majority of passings are planned. And deep inside we are well aware of what that plan is. And obviously, for obvious reasons, it's not something that always comes to the forefront of our minds. Because we could quite easily, through our fear, try and alter that plan. Which is kind of logical in a way. Because if we know that next Thursday we're going to step out and get run over by a bus, the chances are we'd stay in bed all day, wouldn't we? So, but what we've got to try and remember isn't no much how you try and alter that plan of the soul. It will fulfill its plan, one way or another. So we haven't got, although we like to think we haven't got control over when and probably how we will pass. Now some say, well, if, for argument's sake, I needed medication to keep me alive, and I thought, I've had enough of this, I'm not going to take it anymore, then who's to say that that wasn't the process anyway? So we may well think, well, I've had enough, I'm not taking these tablets anymore, I don't want to keep going on like this. That may well have been the original plan in the first place. As much as we think we've got control of it and we are aiding our passing, the truth is we are not. It was part of that plan. So I'm not convinced that we control our destiny. I'm more or less 100% certain we do not. And it's the same with like suicide. I've made a video talking about that, how awful it is sometimes that, you know, there's certain people in this world who say that it's a sin. I think my understanding of that is simply it is no different than an illness, no different than a cancer of the mind, if you like. It is an illness and it should be treated as one, and it is treated as one spiritually too. So whatever lessons there were to learn for that energy, for that soul will still learn the same lessons whether that suicide happened or not. It would be part maybe of their plan. There are many things we do not and cannot comprehend, so for us to be necessarily commenting, if you like, especially in negative comments about people who make that decision, we are commenting on something we cannot comprehend, we do not understand. And it was wrong for anybody to be trying to describe that as an awful sin. What a load of rubbish. So the process itself, obviously, like I said, we've no, it doesn't matter who you are, there is an element of fear. And one of those fears is leaving loved ones behind. Hence there are people like us who try and form that link between the two worlds and pass on messages of and give evidence of survival, just to help cushion and to give closure for loved ones that are left behind. And what we seem to forget is that we are also helping spirit, because it's important, just as important for spirit to get that message across as it is for the loved ones to receive it on this side of life. It helps with the process of progression of the soul when it understands that its loved ones are at peace too, that they've left behind. Obviously we never forget, and in a sense we never stop grieving, but we do need to allow the energies that have passed, our loved ones that have crossed the veil, if you like, we need to understand the importance of allowing that loved one to go. We never forget, we never stop loving them, but it's important that we carry on with our process here, with our learning curve, if you like, spiritually. It's important that we do that, and it is just as important that your loved one, that energy, that soul that has passed, can also do the same. They need to progress, they need to move on, and it's wrong for us to overly grieve, to overly cause them pain, because that's what we are doing by not getting on with their lives after they've gone, because they learn to understand the importance of our journey, and they will feel that they are holding us back on our journey through passing, and we do not want that. We want them to progress in the love and light on their side of life as much as they want us to do the same on this side of life. So, like I said, the soul is well aware when it's time for us to pass, and it will prepare by sending out that love, that light to your loved ones. It will prepare by calmly in the background putting your mind at some kind of ease. The problem is our minds are very controlled, our minds are very computerized, if you like, but it will do it, and it has the capability of doing that. Many people, when they are told that maybe their passing is just around the corner, have an element of peace. You may well have experienced that, and if there is any agony, it is normally very short-lived, and they have this element of peace about them, this element of serenity, and just slowly drifting away over various periods of time. For some it's very quick, for some obviously this can take longer. As the body starts to fail, then the energy of the spirit starts to come through to the surface, if you like. It starts taking control of the situation. It has sent that love and that light out there into the consciousness where our loved ones are waiting for us. That's why, as we pass, loved ones will draw close. They will be there for us when we pass. And it's important, the only way that they will be able to draw close to you is by that love link. That love link that is there is that cord, if you like. is what will pull them in closer to you to help as you pass. Many people have said, what if somebody comes to help me who I really don't like? It could be a family member or a friend that seemed to think that you thought the world of them when in reality you couldn't stand them, or something. There could be some sort of family fight or something where different members of a family don't get on. Like I said, if that link of love is not there, then they will not be present as you pass. It's an impossibility. And when we talk of family, we are talking of a link that has never been broken anyway. So that link with mother, that link with father, as long as it's a link of love, has never ever been broken. Even as they passed well before you, that link is still there. It is an energy link that has always tied you together, if you like. So the ease of their drawing close as you pass is so much simpler, if you like. It's a lot easier for them to be there for you because they have that link already, and it's one, like I said, that has never gone. It's never been broken. We need to understand that, as when family passes, loved ones pass, that love link is one that is formed and stays that way. It's not a link that breaks simply because somebody passes. That energy link is around us constantly. That energy link will never go. No matter what the progression of your loved one's soul as they pass, and as they journey through different realms, the link is still there. It's still a binding link. It doesn't mean just because the energy link is there that they are constantly stood by you. It simply means that in times of need they will come. They will be there. They will offer their support, if you like, through that love link. They do not walk with you every day of the week. There's still a progression of that soul. So our loved ones will be there for us as we pass. And what's really that saying of, I've said it a few times, I think, that saying of my life flashed before my eyes is more truth in that than what anyone realizes. We see a life, obviously a lifetime is a blink of the eye, and then more so when we pass, because that will in a sense flash before us, because we need to understand what we have learnt, what we haven't learnt, what we've experienced. We need to understand the pain that we've caused others, and the only way we can understand it is to feel it. So as energy, we will feel that pain. We will know how that felt, what we caused. Because it's the only way we'll learn from it is to experience it. So all these experiences that we are going through in life will be played back. Even the good, because we know the positive emotions and feelings that we've experienced through our lives. We need to understand the goodness and the love and the light that came from those experiences, as much as we need to understand the negative side of experience. It's the whole process of learning for a soul. And once we accept the things that weren't right, once we accept and experience the wrongdoing of ourselves, of self. Once we understand that, we can then progress. We will understand it in the right way, not in the human way. There will be no, yeah, I get it, yeah, okay, fine, fair enough. No, it's not like that. That understanding is, I suppose, the closest I can get to that, describing that, is heartfelt understanding. Once we accept that, then we can put one spiritual foot in front of the other and start to move forward. But it is a heartfelt understanding. And by doing that, it's an element that will stay with our soul. It's never forgotten. So it will never happen again, because it is an element that is stamped there upon us. So it's like an ingredient towards perfection. We'll have a long way to go, but by experiencing that pain we cause to another and accepting it, heartfelt acceptance, we will never do that again. So it's important that we live the best life we can. We are human at the end of the day when we make mistakes, some bigger than others. But all we can do is our very best. A lot of mistakes and things we do, we simply gather as we move through life. And the problem is, being human, we kind of soak up other people's ideas and perceptions of things, and it's not until maybe later in life sometimes we find out that some of those ideas aren't correct and it doesn't sit right with us. We think they are wrong when we shouldn't act in that way. So it's important early on that we question, and we question a lot of things that are going on in the world, and especially if it doesn't sit right with us, it's important that we do that. It needs to sit right with soul, with self. If it sits right with you deeply, I mean, not just off the top of your head thinking, yeah, I've read that, understand, that's fine, I'll act like that, I'll stand up for that. You really do need to, again, it's kind of like I was saying about heartfelt. It needs to be, whilst in the body, in a sense, it needs to be heartfelt too. What we believe in needs to be heartfelt. So that's the kind of process, if you like. So as we pass, as the body decides to fail, as the soul moves itself outwardly, away from body, into that energy of love, into that energy of light, that conscious energy that is here now with us all, around us all. And as we drift into that and merge with it, and we accept wrongdoing, as well as the good things that we achieve. And as we truly accept, we will move forward with our loved ones onto the next stage of our journey and beyond. So I hope that helps a little bit. In a sense, it may help with mediumship as you understand that process, and maybe take a bit of fear away from the element of death. Obviously we are, like I said, we are human, and we have this odd illusion about death, and a lot of it is what has been preached to us, that we won't be allowed into heaven, and if we act in a certain way, we will go to hell. All that's been drummed into us. The closest we get to hell really would be the experience of the worst things, that pain, if you like, we inflict upon others. That will be our closest hell. And there are many things we go through in life here that sometimes feel that way. But we need to change our frame of mind, of our way of thinking, and understanding that that happened to us because we needed to learn from it. It's not a punishment, it's a lesson. And we can move on from that. So, yeah, there's a little bit about death and the fear of it. It's best just to wash away all those preconceived ideas that have been drummed into you and just see it as the next stage of your journey. And you will feel and sense that love from your loved ones as you do now. That link, like I said, will never be broken. So I hope you liked my little video. It's just really to help with that fear, I guess, is the reason I did it. So I've read like I said, a couple of times on some of the comments about that fear. But it does kind of step into mediumship as well. It gives people fear, obviously, of darkness and what have you. And that element of darkness that we hear about so often, especially on television and films and things like that, it is fiction. And the mind's very good at turning fiction into reality. It creates that. So we don't create that as mediums. We create the love and the light. That's where we work. We create it within self. We push that energy out. It exists already, obviously. We don't create it from scratch. We just bring it forward and we work with that. So as mediums, there is no darkness there. We won't get possessed. Things won't start flying around. You won't start bringing things home with you when you've done a reading. The only time anything will fly around is if you ask and try very hard, and you'd be very gifted if you can do that. It's our spirit to bring something for you or to move something for you. I have seen it. While sat in circle, I've seen that happen. And it is a wonderful experience. But you can feel that energy as it works. You know it's real because you sense that energy in that room. You can feel it. So, have a lovely evening. Work in your love and light. Forget about the darkness. And I'll speak to you all again very soon. Please like, please subscribe. And pop over to Patreon if you like, where I'm doing some guidance on there. Thank you to all the countries around the world that are taking part in that. It's absolutely amazing. The only thing I don't like is the fact they seem to have better weather than what we've got at the moment. But apart from that, it's fantastic. Some lovely, gifted people on there. They're absolutely marvellous. I say gifted. Obviously, it's not something I use very often, because I don't see it. It's not a gift. This is a natural ability that's within all soul, all energies. So I'll speak to you all again very soon. I'll stop blabbing now. Have a lovely evening and take care. Bye for now.